Houweling Nurseries is still growing tomatoes while a retrofit for cannabis production is underway. Janelle Schneider, PNG files the growing area under glass in BC. Jumped by 20% in 2018 to 1,200 acres as greenhouse industry expanded to replace space converted for cannabis. Agricultural land reserve rules enacted last summer have fueled a boom in commercial greenhouse conversions to cannabis production in the Lower Mainland. At least 5.2 million square feet of greenhouse space, about 120 acres or 50 hectares, is being converted from tomato and pepper production after the provincial government made it much tougher to build new greenhouses specifically for cannabis. The new regulation means that you can't pour new concrete on agricultural land to produce cannabis, whether that be a greenhouse, a warehouse or a processing facility, said Linda Delisanti, executive director of the BC Greenhouse Growers Association. You have to do it on existing concrete. The regulation, which is meant to discourage industrial concrete-based cannabis operations, hasn't put a lid on greenhouse expansion, because the rule does not apply to greenhouses intended for vegetable production. The growing area under glass in BC increased by 20% in 2018 to about 1,200 acres as the industry expanded to replace space converted for cannabis. So, despite the cannabis conversions, growers are producing as many tomatoes and peppers as they ever did. We had a number of greenhouse growers doing expansions for vegetables, so the amount of greenhouse space dedicated to vegetables has rebounded to its 2017 level, said Delisanti. There are more expansions for vegetables on the books for next year and the year after. 3 major cannabis conversions are in various stages of completion. Canopy Growth has partnered with bell pepper grower Sun Select Produce to convert 1.7 million square feet of greenhouse space in Delta and 1.3 million square feet in Langley under the name BC Tweed. Ruben Houweling holds a recently grafted tomato plant. The plan is for this existing facility to convert to cannabis over a 2 to 3 year period, says the general manager of Houweling Nurseries. Janelle Schneider, PNG files a joint venture by Village Farms and Emerald Health Products called Pure Sun Farms has switched 1.03 million square feet of greenhouse space to cannabis production in East Delta. Houweling Nurseries is retrofitting its entire 2.2 million square foot, 50-acre greenhouse complex in Delta in partnership with the cannabis multinational Agriflora Organics to grow medicinal and recreational weed. But it is looking for a site to build a similarly massive greenhouse operation to stay in the tomato business, said General Manager Ruben Houweling. The retrofit and licensing process is being done in stages, which allows Houweling to continue to produce tomatoes and retain staff. The plan is for this existing facility to convert to cannabis over a 2 to 3 year period, he said. There is also an opportunity for us to provide young cannabis plants to other growers. The venture, Propagation Services Canada, would leverage Houweling's decades of expertise and existing propagation facilities to provide flower-ready starter plants to growers in Canada and abroad. We have incorporated a lot of efficiencies into our greenhouse operations that will allow us to avoid the high resource and fuel costs that a lot of startups face, he said. The nursery recovers carbon dioxide from the exhaust of its heating system, which can then be used to sweeten the air inside the facility with roughly twice the naturally occurring level of CO2. We believe cannabis will benefit in the same way that tomatoes do from that extra nourishment, he said. It's a very efficient and sustainable way to use that resource. Are sure at postmedia.com related. Click here to report a typo. Is there more to this story? We'd like to hear from you about this or any other stories you think we should know about. Email fantips@postmedia.com. Let's block ads. Why?